Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Sophie Aldu. So today I'm going to be taking down all of this. I'm going to be remodeling the shelves and maybe having some spotlights. I do have some spotlights that I intend to utilize because, as you can see, my brother uses a lot of table lamps and sometimes it makes the space really tacky. So instead of having multiple table lamps, like we have one over here, we have one over here, I might be able to install some spotlights so that way they are able to see clearly when they walk. The first thing that we're going to be doing to this space is transforming the shelves, and by transforming the shelves, we're not going to be breaking the shelves or replacing the shelves or painting the shelves. We're going to be using contact paper. Contact paper is the easiest thing you can use on your cabinets that would make it look different. So what we wanted to do initially was paint the shelves white. Because we're not allowed to paint the shelves, we started off by placing the contact paper on the shelf. So similar to what we did with the peel and stick wallpaper in the kitchen, we placed the contact paper on each shelf and then we went in with white paint and painted over the contact paper. So if B and Ashley decides to leave in the near future, they can just take out the contact paper and it would go off with the paint. So that's the purpose of using both together. I'm going to start by taking these down. All of this I'm going to declutter this space as the first step. So I'm now done decluttering the workstation and I'm going to be using this contact paper to change the look and feel of the space or the work desk. So we placed the contact paper, we painted over the contact paper. We then went in with a different contact paper, which was a white and green patterned paper that really adds this really nice contrast to the shelves. So the whole point was to have white shelves against a very nice background, and that's why I went in with a different contact paper to give this really nice contrast, to make it really pop. But I've been able to place the contact paper on the top of the desk on each shelf, and now I'm going in with a different wallpaper to give it this really nice pattern that would act as a contrast but also an aesthetic piece, so that way you have this visual eye candy situation going on here. This is smooth. We got it.
Yeah.
Nice job, babe.
Great job.
All right. One thing I did mention initially was this apartment does not have a lot of lighting, and so one of the things that contributed to the clutter that Beatrice had on the workstation shelf is the table lamps that he had everywhere. So we decided to get rid of those table lamps and instead use spotlights that uses battery, and these spotlights apparently are dimmable spotlights, so that means you can dim the intensity of the light, you can change the color. So this was an amazing contribution to the shelf. We placed the spotlights below the lower shelf of the workstation and then placed one centralized one at center of the upper shelf. So this was such a great solution to this space. I have now installed the spotlights, which are dimmable spotlights. So this is really ideal for this space because it's the workstation. So if the couple wants to work at this space and they don't necessarily want a bright light, they can just turn this on and maybe have a blue light instead. So it changes colors from blue to green to red back to white. You can also reduce the strength of the lighting. So if you want it to be dimmer, then this would be an ideal solution for that. So dimmable spotlights are very ideal for this space, specifically because it's a workstation and it is controllable. That way they don't necessarily have to have too many lamps on the shelves, and they can have their more important pieces on the shelves. Next thing I'm going to be doing is painting the shelves to give it a cleaner finish. So I'm going to be painting this white as well as the shelves up here, again just to give it that finalized look. I'm also going to be placing some dimmable spotlights on the ceiling of the hallway, just so that it can make this place brighter. We don't really have an overhead light here, and unfortunately I couldn't get one for the space. The one I got wasn't working. So instead of doing a big overhead light, I'm going to use the remnants of the spotlights to brighten up the space, and I'm going to be mounting it. It's pretty easy. You have a tape that goes on the back of the spotlight, and then you can pull out the sticker so it can stick on the ceiling pretty easily, and then when you want to turn it on, you just tap the screen and it comes on. So I'm going to be mounting this up here. Okay. Pretty easy. So guys, get yourself some Makeover spotlights. And so guys, it is now time for the finishing touches. I'm going to go in with his awards again because I really want to display these awards. I feel like my brother has worked so hard, and I think it's always nice to showcase the hard work and the awards that you get. So I think he would really love to see them displayed nicely on the shelves. I'm also going to go in with more awards. I'm filling the top shelf with all the awards. I'm also placing some additional awards on the lower shelf, but I also know my brother is very big on family. He would love to see some of the picture frames or like knickknacks that remind him of or takes him down memory lanes. And then his desktop, I'm going to be bringing his desktop to the shelf as well, and other things like his stationaries will be placed on the sides. And then lastly, I'm going to be throwing this really cute sunflower throw pillow that I thrifted for $2, and I'm gonna place that here again just to give that pop of color that I actually wanted to see. And I think the space is amazingly beautiful. Check out the finished product.
That's cool on the beat. That's cool on the beat.